good?
Okay, I'd like to open the Town of Wapanger Zoning Board of Appeals for April 8th, 2025. We all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty, and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. Please have a seat. I have a motion for the acceptance of the minutes from March 26, 2024.
Make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Could I have a roll call, please, B?
Mr. Delacorte?
Here.
Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mr. Lawrence?
I'm here. As you can see, Mr. Hernandez is here. His stuff is out, but he's running a little late. We just got a phone call from him about 10 minutes ago saying that he was stuck in traffic, but he's coming. Also tonight, as you can see, we're also missing one board member, so there's only going to be 4 of us here. So anybody who has an appeal on tonight has a right to have an adjournment to another date when all 5 members will be here. But as far as these 3 appeals that are on for tonight, there's nothing that looks like it would need to be adjourned, so, but that you have the right. So I just wanted to let everyone know. So moving on, I'm gonna go on to appeal number 257844, an area variance, Richard and Natalie Serbini, seeking an area variance, section 240-37 district regulations in R40 2040 zoning district, where 25 feet to the side yard left property line is required. The applicant can provide 8 feet for the installation of an 18-foot round above-ground pool, thus requesting a variance of 17 feet. The property is located at 3 Peggy Lane on 0.35 acres, and identified as tax grid numbers 6157-03485293 in the town of Wappingers. Mr. and Mrs. Serbini, come on up.
John.
Don't need you both. One of you can come up.
John.
I'm the loudmouth, that's fine.
Can I have a motion to open the public hearing, please?
Yes, I'll make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, sir. How are you tonight?
Good, not too bad.
Okay.
Loving that it's pool weather out.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. No wires in the way of your
No,
house tonight?
Just remnants of the poles, though. They haven't come to pick them up yet. They
No,
cut
huh?
down the old poles and haven't picked them up yet, so,
That was quite a mess when I got there Sunday morning.
yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yep, a lot of fun.
Happy I made a phone call. I guess it helped.
Thank you.
Eventually.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, Verizon was out that afternoon, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Anyway, why don't you, real quick, just tell us what you need, why you need it?
Well, the side yard, which is, you all walk the property, that piece of the property is the most advantageous to place a pool. The middle of the yard contains the septic leach field, can go there. The other side of the property is sloped, so that's where like water runs off, I guess, and there's actually an easement between us and the neighbor on that side where the chain link fence is for water disbursement. So that's the only real spot on the property that we have that can accommodate a pool. As I mentioned in the prior meeting, my wife and I don't have any children, but being of Italian descent, when we invite family over, there's no less than 20 to 25 people over. So a small pool, to our mind, wouldn't make a lot of sense. And I'd actually like to be able to swim in it, and not just, we have a hot tub I could always jump in, but, if I wanted to get wet. But that size pool is what we would enjoy having.
Okay, yeah, it's like you said, we were all out there over the weekend to see the property. Yeah, you got a couple difficulties there to deal with, as we saw. So
But we love it.
Actually, where you were talking about on that left side of your house is probably the most opportune place you have. I don't know if anyone on the board has any questions.
I don't.
We had noted that there was a kind of covered grill area, which
Yeah, we'll
would
have
count
to-
as a third
Yep.
structure when they inspect.
Yep, we'll make sure that
Make sure that that's
Yep, we
top's
have
taken
to
off of
replace
that.
it anyway, so that's fine, yep.
I mean, I personally find this one a little bit difficult. I understand why you want it at this location. I think the vinyl fence is a good, shades it mostly. And I'm also struggling to see where else you could put it on the site. You really don't have any other location outside of maybe between the sheds in an awkward location, but yeah. I guess there's really no choice.
Yeah.
I have no other comments on it. We also noted, I think, to your wife, that the 8-foot point was a little bit ambiguous. We would just encourage you, when it's actually put in, to make sure that 8 foot is accurate
Absolutely.
to avoid
Yeah.
future meetings.
Gotcha.
So if it was to go a foot closer to the house, it wouldn't,
Yeah,
you're
that's,
not,
yeah. When the people actually come out to level, that the installer, they first have to come out and level that part of the property. We'll make sure that that's over a foot from where the fence line is, more towards the deck.
right.
Good.
Anything, sir?
Nope.
No? Anything further? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to step up and talk about this? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing then?
Make a motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to grant or deny the variance?
Well, I'll make a motion that we grant the variance. The requested variance will not produce an undesirable change in the neighborhood. As John Chair had mentioned, that or Dave had mentioned, the white fence is quite a good shade, he called it. Also, I didn't see when I looked at it, that there would be a better spot on that property. So it will be no substantial detriment to the nearby neighborhood because of that. And again, I don't see any other feasible means. There's no other real good spot that I could tell. The requested variance is substantial. The proposed variance will not have an adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood, and the alleged difficulty is self-created. But I make a motion that we grant it.
I'll second. Can I have a roll call, please, B?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So your variance has been granted.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good luck with your pool.
Thank you.
You'll hear from the building department, in a few days.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure, have a good day.
Good luck.
You're welcome. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Appeal number 257845, an area variance, Holly Rivera, seeking an area variance, section 24037, district regulations, R40 zoning district, where no fence over 4 feet in height is allowed in a front yard. The applicant erected a 6-foot-high fence in their front yard, thus requesting a variance of 2 feet to allow the fence to remain. Where no accessory structure is permitted in the front yard, the applicant put a 10-by-12 shed in the front yard, thus requesting a variance to allow the shed to remain. The property is located at 5 O'Neill Farm Lane on 1.2 acres, is identified as tax grid number 625802892573 in the town of Wappingers. Ms. Rivera, please come up to the microphone. Can I have a motion to open the public hearing?
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And so we've opened the public hearing. How are you tonight? Good to
Good,
see you.
how are you?
Thank you for coming. Just real quick, what do you need and why do you need it?
Okay, so I'm in the process of selling my house, and when we went into a signed contract, we found out there were some issues with it. One being the fence. We put up a fence for the safety of the children because that's a busy road, but we have it very far set off from the road. And I think it's a pleasing looking fence, it's nice looking. And then the shed, there was a shed there when I bought the house, but it was metal and rickety, falling down, so I replaced it not knowing that. And when we talked to them about moving the shed into a backyard, there's really no place because my backyard drops right off. So the only place to have it is off to the front side yard. So I'm just asking for a variant to keep the shed and the fence so I can finish the sale of my house.
Okay. Yeah, we, going, taking a ride out there over the weekend. You noticed the fence, definitely noticed the yard.
Yes.
The yard does
It's
do
very
the dip in the
pitched.
back, so there really is no other opportune place for the shed,
No,
other
there's-
than basically where you have it. I mean,
Yeah.
looking around the yard, I mean, the fence was it looked like it was well kept.
Yes.
Looked like a very nice fence. I have no questions or concerns. You either
Yeah, I mean, just for the discussion, I think it's good that the fence is set back significantly from the property line.
Yes.
No, Myers Corners Road is where I'm the most concerned with the height, and, it's set back 10 feet from the property line, and, the property line is set back significantly from the road edge. It's also in a bit of a depression, so it seemed like, when you're standing in the yard, the top of the fence felt
The
to be
level of
about
the
at the
road.
level of the road.
Yes,
So I can see why a 4-foot fence would do almost nothing visually
correct.
to block. The house isn't oriented to any of the property lines, so I think the reading of where the front of the house is obscured enough that the shed doesn't feel as though it's in a front yard. I mean, it's just kind of they're both rather freely located on the site. I mean, the only thing I'd be tempted to condition would be that, the fence remain at a minimum of 10 feet from the property line on the Myers Corner side, if it should ever be rebuilt, just so that someone doesn't move it higher up and
Okay.
closer to the road, if you'd be okay with that.
I'm fine with that. I can let the new homeowner know. Absolutely.
I thought the fence wasn't actually high enough. You could use a good 4
Yeah,
more
it's
feet on
because
that
my
fence.
house sits so far down.
Yeah, it looked actually like from the property, you could see the road, I mean, through the top of the fence. So
Yes.
not like the fence looks high from the property, at all. I mean, that was 100%, you were 100% correct. I know, and Chris pointed it out to me right away when we got in there. He goes, fence is like even with the road. I'm like, so.
Yeah, and I mean, O'Neill Farm Lane, doesn't feel like a road to the point where I think,
Right, like
There
your
should
front
be a
yard
limitation
doesn't
of
seem
fence
like
height
your
on
front
it.
yard.
Yeah, it's very hard to tell where the front yard is, side yards are.
yeah.
Correct. So, that being said, is there anyone in the audience who would like to step forward and talk about this variance? Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion.
I'll second. All in favor? Okay, we're gonna close the public hearing. I have a motion to either grant or deny.
I'll make a motion to grant both variances, again, with the condition that should the fence need to be replaced in its entirety, it be located no closer than 10 feet from the property line on the Myers Corner side of the lot. Due to the slope on the site and the orientation of the house, both variances feel perfectly natural. Neither of the front yards, as we define them in the zoning code, feel like front yards.
Yes.
And I understand the safety concerns on Myers Corners Road. And, we've had other properties where, people basically have hills, they put the fence at the top of the hill. You're doing the opposite. The fence is in a depression. It's very minimized in terms of what you can see of it from the road, which I think is working to your benefit in this case. I think the benefits can be achieved by no other means. There's no undesirable change to the neighborhood. In terms of the shed, the request is substantial. I think for the fence, it is not. There's no adverse physical or environmental effect, and the difficulties are self-created.
I'll second that. Can I have a roll call, please, B?
Yes.
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 Yes. So your variances have been granted.
Thank
both
you
of
guys
them.
very much.
Yep, and good luck with the sale and
Thank
moving
you.
wherever you're going. Hope
Thank
it all
you.
works out for you.
Thank you very much.
You're very
Everyone have a great
welcome.
night.
And you'll hear from the building department in a few days.
Ms. Rivera? I'm sorry.
The
You'll-
building department will get in touch with you in a few days about the shed.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. And I know our record is probably recorded by camera, but I just want to make a record that Chris Hernandez, our fourth member, has just entered the
Frey.
meeting.
Sorry for being late.
Thank you for showing. So let's move right on to the third appeal tonight. Appeal number 257846, an area variance, Katerina Gadaluska, seeking an area variance, section 24037, district regulations, R4080 zoning district, where 40 feet to the side yard left property line is required. The applicant can provide 24 feet for the construction of a 450 square foot screen porch. thus requesting a variance of 16 feet. The property is located at 58 Didell Road. Thank you. On 1.65 acres, and is identified as tax grid number 6359033533264 in the town of Wappinger. Good evening, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Wanted to say, I think I picked the hardest address with my first, last name, the street name, and the name of the town. When I have to spell anything through the phone, they're like, huh? Like, I'll do it the second time if you need to, so.
Anyway, could I have a motion to open the public hearing, please?
Yes, I'll make a
Motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. So now you can tell us, tell us about your name or the name of the, just tell us what you need and why you need it, please.
Yes, so the variance I'm asking for is to extend the house not closer to the property line, but extend the deck with the property line. Because right now, the layout of the land is, as you probably saw, it's very awkward how the house is set. And there's a 3.5 to 4 foot drop from my dining room window now. So I either would have to build a staircase, anything to use that. That exit is completely blocked off. And with how the land goes now, we actually have a lot of intrusion of water into our basement. So we think with having a deck and having a exit there, just, because having a screen porch is nice, but also having a roof over there and control the water, it should help us with not having water in our basement going through the foundation.
Correct. I mean, we were out there over the weekend. Yeah, you got a tough piece of property there to deal with.
Yes,
It's
we do, yes.
quite the slope.
Yeah, I mean, I originally questioned why the house is located so far to the one side, but, after seeing it, and you're kind of on a ridge of some kind, I mean, it makes sense.
There's definitely a ridge because when you look out, there's obviously bedrock, and it's not just land, it's probably some bedrock and stones and rocks, so on. So it's definitely some form of a ridge there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also looks like the house has been there for,
Since 1950 or 1952, depending on who you ask.
it looks like it's been there for a little while, so,
Yes, yes.
So they did something right, because they put it where it needed to be on that property, obviously, because it's been there for a lot of years.
It's
and-
built, the house, actually, whoever built it originally, not the previous people, but who built it originally did a fantastic job. It's a really, really good house.
Fantastic. I have no further questions. Anyone on the board have any questions for,
I just wanted to add, John, that we got, Mr. Chair, 2 letters from,
I was going to read them into the
okay.
record.
I was telling Ms. Godlewski that I thought they were, actually, one of them was pretty funny. But anyway.
It looks like your neighbors are more than in favor.
We get along very well with them, yes, thankfully. Thankfully, good neighbors to have, yes.
As you'll hear in a minute when I read these into the record, you'll see. I just wanted to give all my board members a chance if they had anything they wanted to add.
I mean, the only thing would be, I think this is a net positive to your property. I mean, it seems clear that someone started some excavation back there. There's a very odd hole. It makes sense to fill that with something. I think it's probably a good move. The existing house is at 24.29 feet, so we're really talking about an increase in the closest to the property line of 0.29 feet, which is in a lot of ways, inconsequential.
Anybody else?
Anything to remove that soil and get that hill down a little bit to help you folks get rid of some of that runoff would be very helpful.
You know what, and also the oil delivery, I have to hide when they come in because I'm so embarrassed because they have no way of going because it's on that other corner of the house, so they actually have to go down that hole to deliver oil. And we're planning, to make it flat as possible around the deck so they can actually go around. Yes.
It's a tricky excavation back there.
Yeah.
Is there anything further? So I'm just going to add these letters in reference to 58 Didell Road in Wappingers. My husband and I are at 68, right next to 58, our property buds up to next to 58, we have no problem with them building a deck onto the house. We realize it is considered in the front yard, but our house is pretty far from it. We don't mind at all. They are very nice and respectful neighbors. Please allow them to build a deck the way they would like. We have no concerns of it. Thanks much, Melanie and Ray Alexander, 68 Didell Road. And to the Town of Wappinger representatives from John and Cynthia Anderson, 57 Didell Road. We hope to make your job easier by letting you know that the deck construction planned by our neighbors at 58 Didell Road are completely fine with us. We regard it as a community improvement and a plus to all our neighbors' home values. We hope this is helpful in satisfying your approval process. Unlike some neighbors putting up signs and coolers, selling eggs or other, creating a dirt bike path covering their entire front yard where many children unable to shift gears come to wind and grind gears in triple decibels, actively disturbing many otherwise peaceful weekends. These are degradations to our community home values. My best regards, Cynthia Vaughn Anderson. So they're very much in favor, but we're very much against, I think, your neighbor selling eggs.
Yes.
From what I can gather, but, you know, but eggs are important too, so. Is there anyone from the audience would like to step forward and talk about this variance at all? Can I have a motion to close the public portion of this?
I'll make a motion to close.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
So it's closed. Can I either have a motion to grant or deny the petition?
I'll make a motion to grant the variance. Again, the covered porch is in a lot of ways no closer to the property line than the existing house, which predates zoning. It takes an otherwise undesirable portion of the site and beautifies it. I think the benefit can be achieved by no other feasible means. There's no undesirable change in the neighborhood. It's quite the opposite. The request, I would say, is not substantial since it's only slightly closer than the existing house. There's no adverse physical or environmental effects, and the difficulty is not self-created.
I'll second that. Can I have a roll call, please, B?
Yes.
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 Yes. Your variance has been granted. Good luck with your new deck and your screen and porch and
Thank you.
getting ready your mound of dirt and
Yes, I'll make sure to let Cynthia know it's all thanks to her. I'll let her know it's all thanks to her letter. Thank you.
And again,
You know,
we'll be in
that
touch.
dirt pile would make a good
yeah, a good
Like
road bump, you know,
track
and
for-
slow everybody down.
for bikes if you want to.
I'll suggest just that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep, good luck,
You
folks.
as well.
Thank you. Okay, what I do don't believe there's anything further on for tonight. Chris, thank you for showing up.
I apologize.
I can entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody?
make a
Oh, okay, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we are adjourned. Thank you, folks. B, Barb, thank you very much.